Namaste and welcome to this practice. We're going to begin in child's pose, so just get comfortable in your child's pose. You may like to take the knees generously out towards the edges of the mat and make a pillow under the forehead, or at least relax the elbows so you can feel the shoulders releasing. And as you bow the head down towards the earth, begin to soften through the forehead and the eyes. Sense the breath moving in through the nose and out through the nose as the lips and the jaw relax. You may even be able to allow the abdomen to be a little softer. Feel the belly release down between the thighs. And notice how, as you consciously let go of any holding or any effort through the buttocks, the hips begin to sink down all on their own towards the earth, breath by breath. And feel yourself arriving within your body. This time, allowing all other distracting thoughts, any ideas, anything on your to-do list, just to be to the side for this time. Knowing that as you leave your practice on this day, you'll move back into your world with more clarity, perhaps more determination, and feeling of more space within both the body and the mind. So go on and find your way onto the hands and knees now, and you can lift up into your cat-cow pose. So as you inhale, lift the chest and the sit bones. And on the exhale, round through the spine, looking in towards the navel. And allowing the breath to move the body, lengthening from the tailbone all the way through center. And as you round and arch, press into the hands evenly, draw up through the navel and the pelvic floor. Just once more here, scooping up the chest on the inhale, and at the very end of your exhale, as the tailbone tucks under, take the hips all the way down to child's pose again, but stay more active with the arms this time. Releasing the fingers as far forward as you can. Keep the elbows lifted, the armpits lifted. The head may or may not be down on the floor here. Feel again that weight through the sit bones down to the feet, so you should feel the back body waking up. And without looking forward, just start to spread the hands a little wider and get a sense that you're grounding down, and maybe you could even walk those hands outwards so that if you're on a yoga mat, maybe half of your hand is on the mat and half is on the floor beneath you. So then come forward onto the hands and knees once more. And we're going to isolate that movement through the shoulders. So this time as you inhale, let the chest come down towards the floor, and you'll feel the shoulder blades draw together. So don't overdo it, just get a sense that there's a drawing in. And then as you exhale, that same rounding as you protract and the shoulder blades separate. So inhale and draw the shoulder blades together, chest sinks down, and exhale to round. And you may notice that as you round to the upper back, it's almost like the shoulder blades are sliding down to the sides of the upper back. There's so much space between them here. Just one more long out breath as you round, release that tension across the back, and then take the hips down, but keep that activation through the upper back. Almost it feels now like the armpits are trying to turn under and face each other. Breathe into that opening. Tips of the shoulder blades are still reaching back to the hips. Feeling the back body light up, and keep those hands wide as you now come forward into downward facing dog. And don't be afraid to have those hands wide, knees bent, and notice how strong and stable the upper back is now as those armpits turn to face each other underneath the body. The space between the shoulder blades. And there's no bunching of the shoulders towards the ears, but more that the shoulder points at the bottom are lifting up. So there's a lot going on there, but you should feel more stable, more strong. And then you can come down to the knees. You'll remember that when you come back into down dog. For now, come into Sphinx pose, or down to the forearms. Press into those hands, elbows, forearms. You can have them wide here again and lift up through the chest. Lengthen back into the toes and imagine that every time you breathe in and that breath moves up from the navel to the heart, your heart is shining a little brighter forward, out and all around you, all directions. One last breath in here. You might engage into the hands and elbows a little more, and then feel the coming down, the releasing on the exhale, and third eye touches the mat. The hands now come wide again. We come into cobra, but you can stay with Sphinx if you like. Peel up through the back of the neck. We're still in the upper back muscles here that we're activating, so it's important to have the bend through the elbows, shoulders away from the ears. Feel the collarbones smiling. You may notice the shoulder blades starting to meet each other a little more at the back of the body there. And just one more breath in. You might take a last look upward and then exhale to release down. Extending the arms back behind you, preparing for locust, Shalabhasana. As you inhale, rise up and reach the fingers and toes away. Chest again open from shoulder point to shoulder point. And see if you can let those shoulders move away from the ears rather than bunching up around the neck. Back body active, breath and smooth and steady. Releasing down on your exhale. And making your way into child's pose. And that might be that you're continuing to be in more of an active shape here, or you may like to bend the elbows and soften the back body a little. So just ask your body what it's needing right now. In which position, in which shape, in which subtle adjustments are going to allow me to continue finding that connection with the breath. Coming forward into downward facing dog, and you might continue to explore those hands wide through this practice. Feel more of a balanced effort between the upper and lower halves of the body. Lifting up out of the wrists, reaching to the sit bones. Bend the knees and walk the hands to the back of the mat. So you're coming into a forward fold here and knees are off lock. And then from this forward fold, just heel toe the feet wide and come down into your malasana, your squat. And hands could be on the earth here, or bring the hands together in namaste and lengthen from the base of the spine up to the crown. Spread the weight evenly through the feet. Releasing by taking the hands out in front and straightening the legs as you walk the feet back in parallel to one another. The legs are going to do all the work here as we take a spinal roll upwards. So bend the knees and tuck the chin to the chest and slowly bringing the head up last of all, letting the palms turn outward. Release the knees so that you can feel the weight of the body down through both legs. And then shifting your weight into the left foot, and that left knee has at least a micro bend there to catch any wobbles. You can bring the right knee up towards you, point the toes, feel the chest lifting. Feel the knee wanting to lift up to touch the ceiling or the sky if you're practicing outside. And then join me here in tree pose, bringing the foot to the inner thigh, but stay with this hand bind on the ankle. So if that's not available to you, of course, you can take the foot down to the lower leg, just right away from the knee. But otherwise, hold that ankle and encourage the knee back a little here. So hips are still evenly, as much as you can, parallel to the end of your mat, the short end of your mat. And just noticing everything switching on here. You could take the left arm up if you like and extend to the fingers, extend to the crown, extend to the right knee. And then bringing the hands back over to hold on to that right knee and just give that a little bit more of a help to lift upward. Flex the foot there and then start to widen that knee up to the side. Lifting that knee up to the right armpit, perhaps taking the left arm up. Feel the body bright. Coming all the way back through center and spreading the toes on that right foot as you deliberately place it back down into the earth. Bend the knees and just feel that evenness. Maybe there's a slight change on one side of the body, but bring your attention into both sides of the body. And even now, as we move into the standing only on the right leg in our tree pose, as you bring the left knee up, it's not just the right leg that's doing all the work here. So the left foot needs to talk to the right thigh and vice versa. As well as energy moving outward to the left knee or to the right fingertips. There's also this sense of drawing in. Quieten everything down. Simply hear the silent mantra of your breath, assisting you to find a steady state of mind. As that knee comes back to center, just for a moment, you can help it to rise up a little higher. Draw the toes to the shin and then guide the leg outward. Knee towards the armpit, right arm extends. Gaze lifts, corners of the mouth lift. come back through center. See if you can spread those toes a little wider and then feel the whole left foot connecting with the earth beneath you. Pausing for a moment, either with the eyes open or closed, and feeling under the layers of the skin, a little deeper within the body. You're still here at the end of your mat, so on your next inhale, scoop the arms all the way up and overhead, and exhale coming into your Uttanasana, forward fold, chest to thighs. Take a breath in and lift the chest halfway, reaching crown forward, tail back, and exhale to melt the chest down once more. Knees soften and you can walk your hands all the way back out into a downward facing dog. Have a good distance between the hands and the feet so the body is long and open. Watching over the breaths, the only thing really that's bringing this movement into the body now, encouraging the movement of energy. Watch where it travels, all on its own. You can bring the feet forward to the front of the mat now, taking a couple of big steps or jumping forward if you're feeling warm enough. And when you arrive, take a breath in and lift the chest halfway. Folding on the exhale. Either a spinal roll or reverse swan dive to arrive at the front of your mat. Palms connected, exhale down through center. Let the arms float down alongside the body, finding chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale into your seat and just check the knees are in line with the ankles here. You could reach forward to the fingers or bring the hands together into the Namaste Mudra at the center of the chest. Notice all 10 toes, the balls of the feet, the heels. As you inhale, rise up, palms connect. Exhale, down through center. On your inhale, bring the right knee up towards the chest. Exhale, figure four, flexing the toes on the right foot and creating a shelf by bending your left knee. So you're resting the ankle on top of the thigh. Palms are engaged. Left, right side of the body again working together. You can lower the seat down a little lower in your chair if you like, or you can bring the hands down to the earth. As you breathe in, rise up. Fingertips reach to the ceiling. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lifting halfway before stepping the right leg back, finding warrior one. Warrior one is a short step back, so we only want to draw the right hip forward. Feet should be in a parallel position, like you're on train tracks. So the feet distance apart is actually quite small. When you bend the front knee, you'll still be able to see the toes. So if you've been to other yoga practices, you might think, oh, I want to open my hips up a little. This posture, warrior one, is not a hip opener. That's our warrior two sequence. That's our warrior two poses. Let's bring the hands together. Bending to the front knee. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, drawing back to center with your breath. Expanding across the chest. Once more. Coming back through center, lowering the hands down to frame the front foot. We're stepping back into three-legged dog. Left leg is lifting to the sky. Don't open the hip, but instead deliberately drop that left hip a little bit more. Have a bend through the right knee. Extend the left toes as high as you can. Feel the length, the opening, left side of the body. And as you place the left foot down onto your mat now, it'll be back further past the right foot. So pick up the right leg as you inhale, three-legged dog. Extending into the right hand, up to the right toes. Take one more breath in, lift the hips. Exhale, step the foot forward, warrior one. You'll need to hop the back foot a little closer to the front of the mat so you can feel those parallel legs. Both sets of toes pointing to the front, hands to the heart. Inhale, open. Exhale. As you open through the chest, you're gently steering the right hip back, left hip forward, feeling the stability, the strong foundation through the legs, allowing you to open through the spine with this gentle back bend. Just one more breath as you reach to the fingertips, coming through center and framing the front foot. Step the back foot forward as you inhale and lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive, coming all the way up as you inhale. Exhaling down through center. Let the thumbs rest on the breastbone for a moment. Relax the shoulders, the elbows. Perhaps enjoying a little more warmth in the body. Feeling yourself come alive with the breath. If the eyes are closed, you may like to open them now as you bring the left knee up towards the chest, point the toes, active through that left leg, and then placing it on top of the right knee. Drawing the left toes back towards the shin now. Let the left hip become heavy. Perhaps you can sink into your seat a little more. Pressing into the palms, the right foot as you inhale, lifting up. Perhaps looking up and exhale to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Left leg steps back, warrior one, short step remember. Bend into the front knee and just check how that feels for you and even how it looks. You can see the toes on that right foot. Bring the hands together at the heart. This little back bend here is opening up through the mid and upper spine. So we don't want to pinch into the lower back. So as you breathe in, imagine the spine lifting out of the hips and open through the arms, the elbows, soft palms. Imagine lying back on a bed of pillows. And check in with the breath here, of course. If it's a little strained, maybe just back it off. Find your edge. Allow yourself to draw in the fullness of the breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, framing the front foot. You can hop that back foot further back so that now you're in more of a runner's lunge and you can bend the right knee. As you inhale, take the right arm up. On the exhale, just let it come down loosely under the right thigh. Inhale, open from palm to palm, drawing the chest around. Exhale, release. Just one more, perhaps looking up to the fingertips. Exhale, both hands come down on either side of the front foot, finding your three-legged dog. Right leg lifts to the sky. So without opening this right hip, your leg may not be going as high as you think it needs to, but do feel the length through the whole right side of the body. And you'll notice that as you place that right foot down, it'll be back further behind the left foot. Then as you inhale, take the left leg up towards the sky. Extending, press into the left hand, feel the left armpit buoyant. Now check in with the right hand, feel the right armpit buoyant, so you don't want to collapse into one side. Taking one more breath in as you feel the hips lift as well. Exhale the foot forward. Step the a little. Warrior one. Set it up from the hips, bend through the knee. Hands to the heart. Preparing to lengthen the spine up. Opening. Resting back. Soften the jaw. Soften the fingers, the elbows. Notice the breath moving into the abdomen. The rib cage expanding outward. Last breath in. Exhale, coming forward. Runner's lunge. Lengthen the right leg back here. Left knee over ankle. Inhale and open through the left arm upward. Exhale, soften that twist by bringing the arm under the thigh. And twice more. Stepping the back foot forward on your next in-breath, lift the chest halfway. Exhale to fold. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, hands rested heart. Take one last breath in, feel your body receiving the breath. And even more importantly, on your exhale, start to let go of any concerns, any distractions, any preconceived ideas. We find Utkatasana, taking the arms up as you inhale, exhale your seat. You're welcome to stay centered or add a twist here. Bring the palms together, twisting to the right. You'll notice the left knee wants to come around, as does the hip. Please let that happen. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Once more. Twisting to the left. Coming back through center. Straightening the legs, breathing in. Palms come to rest at the chest as you exhale, drawing down through the midline. Sending your weight now into the right leg. We're finding our eagle pose or Garudasana. Left knee lifts, tucking it over, bringing the right elbow to cross. And the other option here is to simply bring the big toe across to the right little toe, bending through the right leg to still create that bind. Finding that balanced effort as you drop down into the hips a little more, lift to the fingertips, drawing in through the thighs. And as we move into our warrior three here, taking the right leg back, you're welcome to keep the arms in this bind or any other arm variation you like. Reach back to the toes. It's a slight dropping of the right hip. Now to release, you might like to unravel the arms and bring them down to the floor, stepping the right leg back and coming down into a low lunge. Keep the back toes curled under, left knee over left ankle. And let's take this right arm wide, all the way behind you, and maybe look back here. Take a breath in. As you exhale, cross the body. Perhaps touch the back of the left shoulder. Inhale, feeling the lower ribs rotating in one direction and then the other. As the arm comes all the way across, you've got the option to bring the hand to the outside of the left knee, or bring the elbow down. Bring the palms to meet. Lift up through the belly. Encourage the center of the chest around. Stay low in your lunge or lift up through the back knee. Reach back to the right heel. While at the same time feeling the calf and the thigh on the right leg a little more active upward. From here, we're stepping forward into our twisted chair. So right leg comes to the front of the mat, moving the right knee and hip around as you twist to the left. Inhale back through center in your chair. Exhale, releasing and bringing the hands to rest at the heart. Before unfolding the arms down alongside the body. Soften the knees. Enjoy a moment of stillness. Observe and appreciate everything in this moment. Whether it's the temperature of the body rising, the feeling of breathing into parts of the body that were perhaps forgotten. Feeling so alive within your skin. On your next inhale, circle the arms all the way up. Exhale down to the heart. Sending the weight to the right leg, lifting the left leg and finding your eagle pose, Garudasana. Right elbow crosses over left. You might like to be a little more active with the arms, lifting the elbows. Feeling those shoulder blades, back body, energized, awake. And remembering that you can feel the support in so many parts of your body, all connected, all united. Sitting into your seat just a little more here. Before finding your warrior three, left leg extends behind you. Imagining that the top of that left foot is just resting on a ledge, a bench, a shelf. Steady gaze now. Steady breath. Releasing the hands to the earth before stepping the left leg back. You may like to keep the toes curled under, ensuring the knee is over the ankle. Take the left arm behind you. Take a breath in. Exhale, reaching out, forward and around. Just get a sense that the torso is like a barrel being turned, rolled, almost like a prayer wheel, opening up with every breath. And eventually coming across into your twist with the back of the hand or the elbow, lifting up through the belly, steering the navel around the center of the chest. Option to lift up a little higher here. Stay active through the palms. And coming into our twisted chair, so the back leg comes forward to the front of the mat. Allow the left knee and the left hip to come around. Feel the twist through the mid-spine rather than the lower back. Inhale through center. Releasing the legs, bring the hands to the heart. One by one, allow them to unfold alongside you. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back of the body. Soften the knees. And for this time, could you even feel a little more softness through the belly? With the eyes closed, you may notice a few more of those subtle movements within the body. But somehow there's so much trust right now. There's a feeling that no matter what, you'll always return to center. From Tadasana, you can heel toe the feet a little wider, preparing for your Malasana, as we once were at the back of the mat. Taking the arms up on the inhale, exhaling slowly down through center. You may like to use the elbows on the inside of the knees to encourage a bit more of an opening here. You'll feel it across the sacrum. And as you draw up a little more through the pelvic floor, imagine drawing up the energy of the earth that's supporting you throughout your entire body. Like a seed that's been planted, absorbing the nutrients of the earth, so that new shoots can begin to bloom into yourself, knowing that every moment is an opportunity for new growth. To release, we're coming into our reverse table, so you can lower yourself down onto your mat. Take the feet hip width apart, turn the fingers out behind you, and as you inhale, lifting up. Looking forward over the legs or looking up towards the ceiling. Imagine the heels of the hands are dragging towards the heels of the feet. Feel the stability through both the arms and the legs. And then releasing all the way down through the hips first of all. We're going to be coming down onto your back, and when you do that, just have the hands underneath your bottom, palms turned down. Bringing the knees in towards the chest and extending the legs up towards the ceiling. You could imagine that the legs are now effortlessly resting against a wall. Feel the touch of the air all around the toes. Relax the muscles of the legs as much as possible. Just 2 more breaths here. Feel the breath light like a breeze. The legs as light as a leaf, just at the very ends of the branches. And then bend the knees and bring the feet down, preparing for bridge pose here. Feet hip distance apart. Walk the hands out alongside you and press into the feet and the palms as you breathe in. Lift the hips, belly, chest. Drawing the tailbone to the back of the knees and just lifting the chin ever so slightly. Lengthening out a little more through the back of the neck. Use the hands, the elbows, the shoulders for support. And as you exhale, release from top to bottom, working those hands back underneath the bottom so that you can raise the legs up once more here. So noticing that the weight is in your hips and is supported by the hands, and that should give the legs that feeling of ease there. Bending the knees and bringing the feet down to find your bridge pose again. You might even be able to touch the heels with your fingertips here and notice the knees are over the ankles. Lift up through the spine when you're ready, and you may even like to roll one shoulder at a time underneath you. And rather than exaggerating the lift of the hips, could you instead lift up a little more through the center of the chest? So just as we were taking that back bend in our Warrior One, think about a bolster running the length of your spine, the chest opening, the shoulders back. And so much more room to breathe. And as you exhale, take one shoulder at a time underneath and release the spine slowly, slowly, all the way down. You can slide the arms wide here and walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. And let those knees just fall from side to side as you exhale. Inhaling through center and letting go of the effort as they become heavy to the other side. Slowing the movement down as you slow the breath down. You may like to turn the head in the opposite direction of the knees. As you move from side to side in a leisurely way, like you have all the time in the world to lay back and rest, because you do. Just like we commit to so many other things in life, we can commit to this slowing down, and now this practice that we're being led into of Shavasana. So the next time the knees are over to the right side, why not pause there? And then as you breathe in, come back through center for the final twist to the left side as you exhale. The exhale allowing the releasing of the body, the effort, the doing. And of course, with those conscious exhales, we're clearing the space. So now as you breathe in and make your way back to center, you might keep the eyes closed as one by one you guide your legs, your arms into a comfortable position for Shavasana. Have the legs a little wide and even the arms a little wider out to the sides. I got nice and warm there through that practice, so I can feel my body already appreciating the cool air around me. I can also appreciate the sounds that I can hear in the distance because they're part of this day. It tells me that there's life all around. Just as much as I appreciate the silence that I can drop into in between my thoughts. That oasis of quiet peacefulness is always awaiting you. And we simply make a choice to dive in a little deeper. So along with sounds, temperature, I wonder what else you could notice around your body right now. Maybe the feeling of the clothing or the support beneath you. Maybe a particular scent in your surrounds. And then if you were to start searching a little more inwardly, you might notice any sounds that the body is making, any sounds of digestion, hunger. You might notice if the mouth is dry or moist, or if there's a particular taste. Somewhere in the body that feels heavier than elsewhere. A part of the body that feels lighter. And just like the external environment is constantly changing, as is your internal space. The constant is the breath. It continues. The feeling of the breath moving in to your body. And then the feeling of the breath moving out of your body. Continual breath in, out. And all you really need to do is notice each and every one. And by noticing each and every breath, it's as simple as that. That which brings you back into this present moment, into this experience you're having within your body right now. I wonder if you could stay with it for just another minute or two. You may have dedicated an hour to your own personal, physical and mental health, spiritual growth. So please feel free to stay a little longer if you're able to. Maybe just another 5 minutes. Perhaps you're ready to transition into a comfortable seat for an opportunity of meditation. But when it is your time to make your way back into a day, you do so in an unhurried way and notice what it is that you can take with you from this practice on this occasion. As you know, the practice continues on into our lives, far beyond this rectangle that we move on. I just know you're going to take this joy and this peace from moving in your body and share it with many others in your world. I wish you well. Namaste.